How far can mothers go to protect their child? Well, for a Filipino Canadian cellular biologist, she went as far as developing what is said to be the purest and most consistent form of Cannabidiol as a cure for her son's severe seizures. Dr. Anabelle Morgan-Manalo wants to share her experience to the world, so she wrote a book about it titled Mighty Flower, How Cannabis Saved My Son. Doc Anabelle joins us now all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, Doc. Good morning. I hope it's morning out there. Glad you could join us.
It's actually evening, but magandang umaga
Good morning
to you, Paolo.
here. Good evening there. What a story, Doc. You're now a mother of 5, but back in 2016, you gave birth to your son, Macario, who after 2 days began suffering from severe seizures. Tell us about Macario's condition and what you did to prevent him from having a future of limited speech or movement. Did I get that right? Cannabinoid? Help us out there.
Cannabidiol, which is also known as CBD, more popularly.
Of course, yes. Okay, I'm more familiar with it as CBD. And now, because of this, you've been pushing to remove this drug's, historical stigma towards the potential rather of cannabis medicine to be more precision medicine. Tell us about how you went about developing treatment specific to your son's condition.
Sure. Well, of course, I am a cellular biologist, so I was all the way for the traditional path. Macario had 200 to 500 seizures a day as a baby, and by 5 weeks old, he had to have 38% of his brain removed. So, you take him home and you just go along with the path, the medicine, the therapies. But when he turned 6 months old, he was not developing. And so it was at that time I just felt like I wanted to try something else and to see if there was an alternative. And I found CBD, and not for its popularity, maybe as some would, imagine as marijuana or weed, but the compound itself, the ability for it to allow his brain to rewire and develop just like the brain wants to do. So I formulated it for him. I started giving it to him at about 7 months. He started to change very quickly. He's missing mostly all of his left brain, so he's not supposed to use the right side of his body, not supposed to eat on his own. Macario is 7 today, and he's no different than any other 7-year-old. He's a first grader here in Nashville, Tennessee, loves music, loves to play, and he has no developmental deficits whatsoever.
What an amazing story, Doc Anabelle. CBD is already obviously in use. Do you think we're already seeing just how much benefit there is, or is there more of a revolution coming as far as cannabis and related sort of medications and treatments?
Great question. I mean, I think that there are a lot of advocates for CBD and cannabis in general because we see stories, maybe not as exaggerative as my son's, but there are a lot of people getting benefits from it. We need more science. We need the opportunity to do this science. We're not rushing to have it legalized. We want to do it right. These compounds are similar compounds to all of our pharmaceutical drugs. We need to be able to do this study so we could see more stories like Macario's.
Well, I mean, obviously it's legalized in many areas already. What do you think are the hurdles that keep us from really seeing its full potential?
Well, cannabis has a long history of stigma. It's been thought of as a drug. It's been thought of as bad. And we have to get past that. It takes a lot for people to get past their thoughts. And so education has to be at the forefront of how we really get past that hump.
Well, I guess everything used properly, or used improperly also has its good sides and its bad sides. But you named the product that you developed as Masaya, which of course we know is Filipino for the word happy or joy. Why is that so? And I believe the product is now on clinical trial in the UK.
That's right. It was never planned to commercialize or to put it in clinical trials. Of course, I just wanted to help my son. And when I saw him miraculously get as far as he did, I thought, geez, I need to make this available for more people. Masaya means happy, and it just made us happy. It's bringing us joy every day watching him. And I wanted to do things right. I wanted to do the studies. I wanted to do the clinical trials instead of just fast track and make a bunch of CBD products. In order to make change, I wanted to put the proof in the pudding.
There you go. Real quick, Doc, let's talk about your book, which was published by Forbes Books. And what really inspired you to share the story to the world? I mean, obviously, it's a fantastic story, and everybody should be, learning from it.
I was really inspired by my Filipino community in the United States. A good friend of Consular General Elmer Cato, who's now in Milan, and I'm a part of the FWN, Filipino Women's Network. And they always told me, tell your story, tell your story. And, I'm busy doing science. I'm not really used to all of these interviews and stuff. So I wrote the book to have it as a platform and to share it with the world and to be able to really change minds of people that are so bothered by this stigma, that if we just do the science, then maybe we can start opening the boxes so that we can help more people.
Well, equally important as your work as a cellular biologist is your work as an author, as a mother, and as somebody that people can look up to. Thank you once again, Doc Anabelle, for joining us this morning here on New Day.
Thank you so much for having me.